Press the bell icon on the YouTube app to never miss a video from Newslaundry.
This January 2020, the government is going to finalize the Intermediary Liability Rules, which will decide who will win the battle for your freedom of expression online. In the last video, we gave you an overall idea about how this whole thing is shaping up and why it's happening. In this video, we are going to talk about solutions. How can there be a balance between your rights, the government's mandate, and the operations of social media? There are three parties involved. 1. The government. 2. Social media platforms or intermediaries. And 3. The user, which would be you who is watching this video. Back in December 2018, the government presented a draft of the Intermediary Liability Rules for consultation. They argued that these rules were being proposed to tackle growing disinformation, circulation of obscene content, and dissemination of terrorist content on the internet. Basically, they wanted to ensure that social media platforms are not misused by those who want to harm the integrity of the nation as a whole and the harmony of the Indian society in general. The 2018 draft rules required intermediaries to proactively filter and take down content using artificial intelligence tools and enable traceability to figure out the origin of the messages. One of the big problems in the rules is that the user, whose expression is being censored by the platform on the nudge of the government, is not informed or even made aware of the takedown. Now more than ever, there is a desperate need to figure out solutions to this complicated mess. We need answers for questions like, who should the platforms listen to more? Citizens or the government? What if the government orders unreasonable takedown of content? Should the social media companies comply to such requests? And finally, how is the right to privacy of the user being protected? The answers to these questions are not easy, but there are some definitive solutions to this problem. Let's go over them one by one. First, there should be a framework of checks and balances. There needs to be a clear, established definition of what social media companies need to do in case the government wants to take down content. This should also include what rights the user has in case a takedown has been initiated. Second, there should be a proper process which allows content takedowns. For every flagged instance where the government finds content problematic, they must approach and send requests to all social media platforms according to an established process. There should be a nodal person who could act as an authorized representative of the intermediary to coordinate with law enforcement agencies. There should be different takedown timelines and procedures for different types of content depending on the severity. Third, there needs to be transparency in the process of takedowns. Both the government and the intermediaries should inform the affected user about content takedown instances concerning them. If the content is of public interest, like an investigative report about corporate corruption, then the public at large should be informed about it. Fourth, the intermediaries should have the right to protect the privacy of the user. Since takedowns have a possibility of misuse by power-hungry people, the intermediaries must act as a wall between the government and the user. Unless there is a legitimate case involving ill intentions, the government should not be able to track the identity of an anonymous user. Fifth, intermediaries should not be the arbitrator for deciding what content is good or bad. Social media platforms provide space for all sorts of content. But if there is anything problematic that the users think should not be on the platform, they should have the power to decide, not the intermediaries. The law should not mandate social media companies to proactively decide what is acceptable or what is not. It is not their job. If these 5 basic things are put in place, this would ensure a balance between users' rights, social media platform business operation, and the government's mandate to govern. Let's hope the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology is listening.